Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
Not one word, B. Not one word.
Nothing.
All right, guys, we're live. Welcome to Ringside Reporter, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call and ask questions, 323-870-3857. Tonight, we're going to talk about Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk. They got title fights coming up. What's going on? Are they staying? Are they going? What are they doing? They're in Ukraine right now. We'll let you know. We'll let you know what's going on. Tank Davis, also in the news. Contract apparently with Mayweather Promotions coming to an end. Will he resign? I don't know. We'll let you know. But we're going to get started with ESPN. Miguel Berchelt versus Jeremiah Nakatia. Nakatia smashes Burchal in 6 rounds. Let me tell you guys what, man. This fight was completely one-sided. He knocked Burchal down in the third. Burchal he didn't even show up for this fight. He wasn't competitive. He just completely got dominated in every possible way you can get dominated in the fight. This was supposed to be a showcase for Burchal. That's what made it so bad. That this was supposed to be a showcase because he had just gotten knocked out, so he's going to do a comeback fight for him. Guy lines up really well with him, and he got smashed, man. Burchal looked bad. He looked really bad. I'm going to tell you right now, Notorious VC was talking about it in the chat. Listen, it's time to hang it up. He ain't coming back, son. And if he does come back, it's going to be the same result. His career is done. He's not the same fighter, man. It just is what it is, man. Sometimes that happens. And he had a long career. He was a veteran when he fought Valdez. I mean, it's not like this isn't, User 2427 said I pronounced Roka's name wrong in the last podcast. All right, well, sorry, man. I do my best. B, what did you think? What do you think about Burchal going forward? Is this it for him? And what did you think about? Again, this was a showcase fight. It's supposed to be a showcase fight for this guy, man.
Usually, when a fighter has 2 bad performances, like 2 bad knockouts in a row, that's the beginning of the end. He says he's going to keep going. If he does keep going, he's going to need some severe rebuilding. Okay, and it doesn't look bright for him moving forward because once again, sometimes you have a residual effect of punishment that you've taken over the course of your career, and people can say, "Oh well, Valdez was the guy that pushed him off the cliff, so to speak," right? But this was a guy, the writing was on the wall. I mean, he was taking a lot of shots, even in fights that he won. He never had the greatest defense in the world. He was a guy that was very aggressive, came forward, would slug it out in the pocket with guys, and was always fortunate enough to have the heavier hands in those exchanges. And he would take that 1 or take that 2 to give 1 or vice versa. But his 1 or 2 was always the harder shot, and it got him through. But against Valdez, that just wasn't the case. So like I said, he was on borrowed time, in my opinion, for the simple fact that, he just was never that guy who was a hit and not get hit type fighter. He was always an aggressive guy who likes to mix it up. And those guys usually have a short shelf life in the sport of boxing. We've seen it several times. The guys who last are the guys who don't get hit a lot, like Mayweather, Hopkins. Canelo looks to be on that same road. Andre Ward, who didn't have a greatly long career, but he had a decent career, and he had a lot of accomplishments. And he was at the top of his game when he retired for the simple fact that he just didn't take a lot of punches. Burchal was just not that guy. He was a guy that just took punches. And again, you can chip, like I said before, you can keep chipping away at that rock. At some point, that last chip that hits that rock could crumble the whole thing. And I think it's about time to hang him up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. It wasn't good. And I mean, Nakatia looked so good last night that I can't wait to see this guy again.
Yeah,
I mean, he looked strong last night. He looked good. Now, again, I think Burchelt, I think this is probably, I think it's a swan song. At least I hope they'll put him in. If he does fight again, like I said, it's going to be the same result. I mean, it's just his reflexes are gone. It looks like.
Yeah, and
it looked like that to you last night. Like his reflexes.
Yeah, Well, Tim Bradley made a great point. He said that he was gun shy, but when you're gun shy, it's like if you're second guessing yourself and you're having to think things through too much when you're in the ring, and you're saying to yourself, do I want to do this because if I do that I'm going to get hit or whatever. If you're I've said this several times, no fighter likes to get hit, but if you're overly concerned with it to the point where either you're overly defensive or you're second guessing yourself and you're not letting your hands go, and you can't pull the trigger anymore because you're concerned about what's coming back at you, which it seemed was the case last night, then that's the telltale sign that you need to hang him up. De La Hoya, against Pacquiao, couldn't pull the trigger, obviously because Pacquiao is much faster, but he got hit a few times and he said to himself, damn, this hurts. I don't want to throw punches now because I don't want to open myself up to counters, right? And he pretty much kept his hands in his pockets the rest of the fight. He was throwing like one punch at a time, and they were just basically get off me punches. And that happens to a fighter. If a fighter just says to himself, I need to fight, but deep down inside they know they really don't have it anymore. So then they just kind of go through the motions, and I don't think that's going to be the right thing for Berchelt to do, to just go through the motions and just fight because he can make a payday. But who knows if he can still make a payday after getting knocked out twice in a row? Who's going to want to pay for him to fight, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you watch that fight last night. He hit him. Burchelt hit him with solid shots. There was a couple times in there where Burchelt hit him with some big shots. I thought they were big shots. They looked big to me anyway.
Yeah, he had a big fourth round, but that was about it.
Anywhere. Nakatia didn't go anywhere, man.
Yeah. And here's the thing, the reason why he felt he did bad against Valdez was because he needed to move up in weight. He was weak at 130. But once again, when you move up in weight, those guys are bigger. Will you be as strong at that weight? Well, you're used to smacking around 130 pounders.
Yeah.
And you're hitting these 135 pounders. Are they going to go anywhere?
Well, and you can go back to that Valdez fight and watch it. Valdez had him scouted. I mean, they really had that guy scouted pretty well.
Yeah.
It was almost like they knew what he was going to do the entire fight. I mean, they seemed like they were a step ahead. So that was tough one. Now I didn't watch. It's funny. I watched this on YouTube. I didn't watch it on ESPN. I was anything from the commentary last night. Because I a lot of times when I watch these fights, I'll watch it with the sound off or something like that and just kind of watch it. It's kind of the best way for me anyway. It's the best because I don't hear the nonsense and everything like that. What were the reactions after the fight as far as
well, Tim Bradley said that he was gun shy, and he made a great point. He said after my fight with Provodnikov, before Joel Diaz, who was my trainer at the time, let me take that Marquez fight, he put me in the ring in a sparring session with Lucas Matisse, and he said, if you don't prove to me that you still can fight against a guy who can hit, if you don't show me something in this sparring session, we're not taking the Marquez fight because I care so much about you. And he obviously he took the Marquez fight, so he did good in that fight, as he said, as he was talking about the story. But he said, did they do that with Berchelt? Did they test him in the gym to make sure he was all the way back, or did they just throw him in there?
They threw him in there.
And that was a good,
they thought this was a showcase fight. I guarantee that's why he was in there, because they thought it was a showcase. They're not going to showcase Nakatia,
Yeah.
They're not showcasing him.
Yeah. And I thought that was a great story by Bradley, because that's, it's crazy that he left Joel Diaz, because Joel Diaz seemed like the only guy that really cared about him outside. Obviously his father was in the corner too, but outside of his family, who else really cared about him? Like Joel Diaz treated him like a son. Then he goes and starts working with that goofball Teddy Atlas. For what reason?
Well, I think Teddy Atlas, I mean, that was really the best move he could have made.
Sure.
I mean, if you think about it, that was the best move he
And
could have
then
made.
out of the 3 fights,
You're talking about the best trainer on the planet, son.
out of the 3 fights he had with Manny Pacquiao, he did the worst trained under Teddy Atlas.
No. Pac was on steroids. You know that. Isn't that what you guys said all the time? And isn't that what you guys kept saying? Pac is on steroids.
The views of Eric Lauder do not represent the views of Beeb Industries and the staff here at
Ringside Reporter. The staff here at Ringside Reporter. All right. Let's talk about the zone. Kiko Martinez versus Josh Warrington for the IBF featherweight title. Josh Warrington regains the IBF featherweight title with a 7th round TKO over Kiko Martinez. This was a good fight, man. I'll tell you what, Warrington was winning every round here, right? But he was like, Martinez was definitely in a fight. This was a fight, man. Martinez hit him with some hard shots, broke Warrington's jaw in the 7th round. Unfortunately for Martinez, the ref stopped the fight 30 seconds later. Martinez was at a disadvantage early. He got cut. I believe it was in the 1st round, right, B, with the headbutt? I think it was in that 1st round. And that blood was coming, and he was an uphill battle for him throughout the fight. For really both fighters, I'll be honest with you. You know, it was funny watching these guys. I mean, they were going at it. I mean, they were both landing hard shots. Warrington was just a little busier, landing a little bit crisper shots. But this fight was, you know, on the scorecards, I had it 7-0 or whatever at the time of the stoppage. It was like, you know, it was wide. But this was like on the scorecards, like when you watch the fight, it was such a good fight, but one guy's clearly winning, but the other guy wasn't out of the fight. You know what I mean?
You're sitting at the edge of your seat saying to yourself, Martinez could turn this around with one big overhand right.
Right.
And
right.
He landed the overhand right, and he hurt Warrington, and it looked like that was going to turn the fight, but Warrington, to his credit, came right back. And I was shocked to hear at the end of this fight that he had a broken hand and a broken jaw, because it didn't look like, I mean,
did he have a broken hand too? I didn't see that.
He had a broken hand jaw too. Wow. Yeah, and a broken jaw.
When did he break his hand?
I don't know, but he said it in a tweet. He broke his hand and his jaw.
Wow. Now his jaw, they said it was about 30 seconds before the fight was actually stopped, he said. It was in that flurry where he was able to stop him like that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And
Martinez wanted to keep going, man. Martinez was game, man. But I think that was a good stop. I mean, it was a lot of unanswered punches. I think it was good.
Yeah.
But you kind of wonder now, knowing what we know,
could he have finished that fight with a broken jaw?
Yeah, man. That ain't nothing to play around with. That hurts, man.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. And, you know, you think about that. Every time you get hit, he's going to get hit in the face. You know, you get hit in the head, you get hit anywhere, you're going to move, and that's going to hurt. Yeah, that's a tough thing to fight.
The more you get in on it, you could damage it more, and then it's going to start swelling.
Oh, man, yeah. So he got lucky, man. He really did. I mean, he got lucky with that stoppage in the sense that, like, it's good that he stopped him when he did, so he didn't have to go any further with that fight, man. That was a good one, man. It's weird to see what Martinez did to Galahad, what Galahad did to Warrington, and to see what Warrington did to, you know what I mean? That's just another example of combat math and why it doesn't work, you know? Do you see a rematch with Galahad anytime soon, or no? That fight's just gone.
They're talking about moving Galahad up to 130 now, because they were saying he was having a hard time making the 126.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I know I beat a dead horse when I bring this up all the time, but this is the result of those day before weigh-ins. It gives fighters that false sense of security that I could stay at a weight class longer than I probably should have, because I can always rehydrate within that 36-hour period and I'll be fine. And you're not going to be fine, because we've seen it time and time again where fighters think they can get it all back in 36 hours and they can't. You're going to have that one night where you're just going to hit the wall. And when you hit the wall, you're going to hit it hard, right? And we saw it. We saw it, right? Kid Galahad looked dry at that weigh-in, right, against Martinez. He looked horrible on the scales. And you saw it in the fight, how he faded badly as that fight was going on.
Yeah, he really did. It wasn't good, man. And I mean, I tell you what, that punch he caught him with laid him out.
Yeah.
It just laid him out, man.
How many fighters now? Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor, Berchelt, Kid Galahad. Everyone's blaming the weight as the reason why they lost it. I'm not here to say it's true or not, but if that's the case, then you have to ask yourself. You don't just wake up and have problems making weight. It's usually it's something that you've had an issue with for a little while, right? You don't just wake up and all of a sudden, hey, I can't make 135 anymore. I can't make 126 anymore. It's probably an issue that these fighters have had, but again, because of that 36 a day before weigh-in, 36-hour rehydration period, they end up staying at the weight longer than they should have. And you have to ask yourself this: what if there were same-day weigh-ins? How long would these guys stay at a particular weight? And would these guys even be fighting at weights that they're fighting at? Or would they be fighting at higher weight classes?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they're only at that weight for a couple of minutes. Yeah, I mean, really and realistically, they're only at that weight for a couple of minutes. And then as soon as they get off that scale, the weight's gone. Yeah. I mean, they rehydrate and all of a sudden they're up 3 or 4 pounds at that point, probably,
I think they should go back to the same day weigh-ins.
I do too. I think it's safer. I think it's much safer.
I think it's safer. I think it is safer.
Or what about, the WBC, that rule they have, that little weigh-in rule that they have, but again, it has to be enforced and then everybody has to have buy-in to it. Yeah. I don't mind that, where it has like 10% of the weight, X amount of days out. I get that. It's hard to enforce, but I understand what they're doing. Coming from, but
you know what these guys are doing? I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but a trainer told me that they're hooking these guys up to IVs and stuff to make sure they get rehydrated. And it's like,
I think that's a common practice, actually. Yeah, I think that really is a common practice.
And that's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like, or maybe it was the IBF. I don't know. One of them. Well, WBC that had that 10% weigh-in rule or whatever.
The WBC, what they'll do is they'll weigh you 30 days out. Then they'll, I think
it has to be. You have to be in a certain range.
Yeah, the IBF will weigh you the day after, and you can't put on more than 10 pounds or something like that. So if you're fighting at 160. The morning of the fight, you have to weigh 170. But once again, after that weigh-in, you could still rehydrate more. So what difference does it make? You know what I mean? So what are you really doing? As soon as the guy will come in and weigh at 170, the morning of the fight at 9:00. Then they'll just hook him up to an IV. So what difference does it make? What are you really doing here?
Shoeshine Boxing says, don't they do that in Vegas for wealthy partiers? Probably. Have you seen this lately? So they actually have like IV places like that are like not your doctor's office, okay, but just like these little health and wellness places, that pop up or whatever. Like IV, they sell like IVs there where you go and you get an IV for X amount of dollars or whatever. That has like all these vitamins in it or whatever. They have some for like hangovers. They have some to make you feel better or to, you know what I mean? And you go there for an hour and get an IV and
I've never heard
come out
of it.
Apparently refreshed. Yeah. Look it up. Okay, so look it up.
I believe you. I'm just saying I've never heard of it.
It's crazy.
I definitely believe you.
They got them here. They got them everywhere. It's weird though. Like I would never like voluntarily go and get an IV. I don't know. I mean,
it seems crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I would never like,
I wouldn't going to pump stuff in your body without knowing if you need it or not, or you just think you need it. But
they don't give you, I would imagine they don't give you a blood test or anything. They just say, well, I guess it can't hurt you. I guess the vitamins or whatever can't hurt you. Cause it's just, what is it? What do you got? Saline, like the water saline, and then you got the vitamins in it or whatever. So I imagine it's probably not going to hurt you. It's probably, but
I don't know.
I would,
who knows? They could stick, if they're not doctors or they're not doctors or nurses, they could fucking stick you, poke you in your vein or something. Who knows what the fuck they're gonna do? I mean, they're not. I don't like anyone sticking the needle in me that's not a doctor or a nurse.
Yeah, I think you got to have a medical, and I'm sure they're medical people. I'm sure they're nurses. I'm sure they're like nurses, so they're, in the sense that they're trained to give you an IV or whatever. It's not like just some dude off the street.
All right,
but yeah, it's just never really dawned on me to just say, I think I need an IV today, and then just go up there and get one, The kid's back said B12 shot 2. He said the B12 shot 2. And I imagine they do the same thing with the B12 shots there.
Yeah, I think Kevin Hart gets B12 shots, he said.
What is that for? I don't understand.
Energy. Just for energy.
Oh, really? It's supposed to boost you up for how long, though? Like, how long does that boost you up?
I don't know.
Like a couple of hours, a day?
I guess a couple hours or whatever. Some people who are a lot of people have problems with B12 deficiency. Like vegans, for instance, they don't eat meat, they don't eat red meat, and they don't eat eggs and stuff like that. That's where you get those are high sources of B12. So sometimes, people get B12s. My sister used to have to get B12 shots because she was anemic. Yeah,
right, but she has to get them.
Yeah,
she has to. I mean, that's if she's anemic, she has to get those. I get that.
Yeah,
but like, just say, I'm waking up and man, I just can't get moving today. I think I'll go to get a B12 shot. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Gives you a jolt. Gives you a little bit of a jolt.
And you just take that pre-workout. That pre-workout I was telling you about last week.
Call me 3 o'clock. Called me 3 o'clock in the morning one day. Pete, how come I can't fall asleep? I said, well, what time did you take
sleep?
What time did you take that pre-work? Oh, right before dinner. What did you think? What did you think? You took it before dinner.
You ever have this problem?
No, I don't have this problem because I take my stimulants at freaking 7 in the morning.
Who takes them that early? That's silly. I mean, come on, live a little, Don't be silly. I mean, taking it at who takes it in the morning? Come on.
That shit lasts me like that stuff stays in my system for like 6 to 8 hours, bro.
Does it?
The older you get,
even after you work out, though.
Well, I
so like I could take mine at like maybe 3 or 4.
I work
in the afternoon.
I work out at 11 usually about 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. So if I take it at 7, it's still in there. Yeah,
like I could take I usually take mine like a half hour before I'm ready to work out. And then I work out and then it's pretty much gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not really hyped up anymore. You're just kind of, there. All right. Let's talk about the undercard here. Let's see. Kiko Martinez and Josh Warrington on the undercard here. Not too much.
What about Ebony Bridges?
What about her? Ebony Bridges versus Maria Cecilia Roman for the Brazzers Championship.
Whoa!
Ebony Bridges wins whatever title these two were fighting for. Listen, I didn't waste my time watching this nonsense, but from everything I read, it was pretty much a low-level title fight. Shocking. Let's talk about that weigh-in, though, Beeb. Let's talk about that weigh-in. I watched that a couple of times. Well, you see she was in a thong and everything, boy. She was...
I have to say, because I've been very critical of Ebony Bridges, over her career. And I did see some improvements.
Notorious VC in all caps. Ebony Bridges is a champion. She's my champion.
IBF
she's champion, baby.
She's the IBF bantamweight champion. You can never take that away from her.
Yeah, who did she fight for that?
Roman.
What powerhouse?
She was
she take that strap off.
She was Roman was the longest reigning bantamweight champion.
Is she a title holder, Beeb?
She was a legit champion.
Is she a champion or is she a title holder?
She's a legit champion because
she's a legit champion. She's the woman. She's the one in that weight class.
She was the longest reigning champion in that weight class. Got to give her credit, man. Got to give credit where credit is due. She was actually turning her shots over.
Listen, nobody cares about the fight. Listen, nobody cares about that fight. All right.
Whoa!
Let's talk about that weigh-in. Let's talk about that weigh-in for a minute.
Not shared by Beeb Industries and the staff here at Ringside Reporter.
Let's talk about that weigh-in. She can make a lot more. Am I wrong here? She can make a lot more money doing, other things.
Please.
She's a math teacher. You know that she's a math teacher? I love math teachers.
She is a math teacher. That's right.
Math teacher is my favorite.
She used to do she's a bodybuilder. I think she used to compete like in bodybuilding shows too. She said.
Really?
Yeah.
She doesn't look like a bodybuilder. She looks fit. She looks
she was like a fitness model. I think she was like a fitness model.
Yeah.
She used to do the figure competitions.
Yeah. I'd give her some money. You know what I'm saying? Messed up.
She's a world champion, man. Now, when you talk about her right now,
So does that mean her prices go up?
you have the views of Eric Loda are not shared
I'm saying
by Beeb Industries or the staff at Ringside Reporter. So when you talk about her right now, from now on, you have to call her the IBF Women's Bantamweight title holder. Or
Brazil's
champion.
title champion. Right?
It's not Brazzers.
It's not Brazzers?
No.
Would you pay to see her on Brazzers?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to say she's a bad-looking woman. She's just really not my type, to be honest with you. I'm not. I don't find her.
Why does she not have a penis? I mean, what do you mean she's not?
Whoa! Whoa! No, I just, who I think is prettier than her. Actually, Shannon Courtney, I think was prettier than her.
I don't remember her.
That was the girl that beat her for the first titles that she fought for.
They'll just tweeted, I hope Lisa's listening. I said, I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say she's not a good looking woman. I'm just not for some reason I'm just not attracted to her. She doesn't do it for me. Just being honest.
Yeah, you need to get something checked out, son. You get some more testosterone in your body or something.
Whoa! Wake up! When I wake up every morning, it's at attention. Don't worry about me. I have any issues.
At attention.
8 ball in the corner pocket for the B. We don't have any problems there. Don't worry about that. I think my name is Rob Herrick.
Oh, that's messed up, man. Robbie's on the line. I wonder what he thinks of Ebony Bridges.
Yeah, let's see what he has to say.
Can we go to him? Let's go to him. I mean, if he's, I know I don't think he wants to come online today, but you know what? That's sometimes, it just is. Robert, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello guys.
All right. Hey, so what do you think of Ebony Bridges, man?
I'm sorry she's got a title, to be honest. I really don't care for her fighting style, man. When I first saw her fight, I thought it was a publicity stunt by DAZN and Eddie Hearn.
Right.
Now she's got a legitimate title.
But
I don't know.
You didn't see any improvements yesterday at all from her?
Beeb, I'll be honest. I didn't even know this weekend that she was a fighter. I didn't even know till this weekend.
Joe, she has shown improvements. I will give her that. I don't think this is going to be sustainable. Because if she gets in there with any higher skilled individuals, I don't know if she's got the capability of beating anybody.
Yeah, she may not be a long-running champion. Let me ask you another question.
That's my point.
Let me ask you another question. I just want to switch gears a little bit here. Now,
okay,
you said that the price of the DAZN went up, which you were correct. But
yeah,
if you pay for the year, it's still only $99.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah,
I paid for the year yesterday, and it only cost me $99. That's crazy. So if you but listen to this though, Robbie. If you pay $19.99, that's like that's $239 a year. Who would pay that $19? I guess that's for people who just want to buy it for a month here and there. Why not just pay the $99? Right. I mean,
well, again, if you're a casual guy, and you don't watch a lot of fights, I could definitely see that.
But right. There's going to at least be, would you say, at least 4 big fights a year that you'll probably want to watch on that? Canelo fights twice a year. AJ fights twice a year, right? So that's 4 fights.
Yeah.
So 19 times 4, what's that? $76. Why not just pay the $99 and you get it? I don't know.
Now you guys did a show a few weeks ago about the price possibly going up to $149.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. I heard that from you, but I thought you were lying to me.
Yeah, you can't trust us on stuff like that, Robert. You know that.
You were the one that said it. You were the one that said it was going. You were the one that said it was going up $129 a year. And then you were like, "Is Eric going to pay that?"
Yeah,
We
and,
don't get,
well, and that's the price that was listed on their website. So I'm glad to hear it's only $99. That makes me feel better.
it wasn't listed on their website. I went on
You
there the
know,
other day. It's $99 for the year.
Okay, well, at the time we did the show a few weeks ago, maybe they updated their site, and that makes me happy. I'm glad to be wrong about that.
You're starting to act like Mike Coppinger now with this fake news stuff.
Oh,
No, hell no! Don't put me in with him.
Let me find out you and him.
Anything that man says.
Let me find out you and him hang out. You talk on the phone because that's all I need to know.
Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. I don't trust anything that man says.
Did you see what Usyk's manager? Usyk's manager, Igis Klimas, reamed him out the other day.
Yeah, you know what though? I'm gonna tell you this, and this is gonna be very unpopular. This is gonna be very unpopular, but I'm gonna say it. Mike Coppinger is right a lot more than he's wrong.
I disagree.
He is right a lot.
I think he's
more.
50-50.
No. He's right on a lot of stuff.
If you were as wrong as him at your job, would you still be working?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I work for you.
Eric, I'm not going to argue with you, but I've noticed a lot of times when we've talked about articles of his, later on we got to come out with corrections. So why is he right more than he's wrong?
He is. He is. Look at his track record, man. I'm telling you.
I think he's 50.
I'm going to give you another example of why he was right later on in the show. But yeah, he's right more than he's wrong.
Okay.
Guys.
I think he's batting 500.
And you know what? I think I might take him on as a friend of mine. How about that?
You have my condolences. You have my condolences.
My condolences. All right, Robert, we're going to let you get back to it.
All right.
All right, man.
How you feeling, Robbie?
He's on hold now.
He
didn't even want to come on. I know Robert didn't even want to come on, but I had to get his reaction.
He's sick of you giving him a hard time every week. I wouldn't want to come on listening to that crap.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
All you do is give him a hard time.
I'm the one that calls him a weasel, you know. I call him a weasel and all that other stuff.
It. You're the one that tells me to do it before the show every week.
I know. I text you, hey, make sure you tell Robert this, you know.
You say his name is not Robbie. It's really Weasel. That's what you told me.
Oh, stop it, Bede. Nobody's buying that.
You know who I wasn't impressed with yesterday for female fighters? That girl Sky Nicholson.
Is she pretty hot? Somebody in the
chat
said she was really hot. Yeah.
Very attractive. She is very pretty.
Right. What if those two fought each other? You know,
I wasn't too impressed with her. I just didn't think she was that. She didn't have that much snap to her shot. She threw a lot of arm punches. I wasn't impressed with her at all.
The kid's back says you could take Sky Nicholson to meet the parents. You couldn't take Ebony Bridges though.
Yeah.
Could you take? Would you let Ebony Bridges meet your parents?
Yeah, I mean, I brought home worse. Who am I? I'm no prize. I mean, look at me. I'm a couple sandwiches short of a picnic. Who am I to judge?
Yeah, I'd bring her home. I'd bring them both home, same time. All right, let's talk about Showtime. Tim Tsyzu versus Terrell Gausha. Beeb. This is the first time he's been on U.S. soil, huh?
Yeah.
Tim Tsyzu wins a unanimous decision over Terrell Gausha by the scores of, get this, 114-113, 116-111, and a 115-112.
Are you kidding me?
I couldn't believe it when I heard these scores because I'll tell you right now, I had Gausha winning about one round in that fight.
I only gave him the first round.
I had it like 118 because, I mean,
maybe you could have given
him that first round.
Maybe two at the most. Like
maybe.
Shout out to Ring IQ. You know what Ring IQ said? He goes, they're not gonna do Tim Tsyzu any favors. I mean, he's on a PBC show against a PBC fighter.
Yeah.
You know, he was anticipating some effery with the scorecards, and he was right because that 114 and 130. What? So essentially,
what on earth you were watching? Yeah.
So you had that 7-5. That fight was you gave Gausha 5 rounds in that fight. 4
rounds, I would imagine, with the knockdown. No, or
4 rounds with the knockdown. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? 4 rounds with the knockdown.
I think.
No, because 150.
Well, 115 would have good. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe 5 rounds. So
you gave him 5 rounds.
yeah, he would have to be 5 rounds in. So
Yeah.
what 5 rounds did you give
How
him?
do you give him 5 rounds?
Right,
At the
what 5
most,
rounds did you give him? Yeah.
at the most, 2. At the most, being generous.
That's at the very most. And the first round has to go to him. Every subsequent round, I don't know how.
What do the other judges have? 116 or 111?
116 to 111. So that's 8-4. And then 115, 112, and then 114, 113.
No, that's 9. That's actually 9-3. Yes, 116 and 111. That's not, so they had it 9-3. So they gave him 3 rounds. Because it's 3 rounds. You have to get
116 and 112 is 8 rounds to 4.
116 and 112. And they had it 116 and 111. Yeah, I'm sorry, you're correct. 8-4. They had it 8-4.
Yeah, I wondered, did they give him a 2-point round somewhere along the lines? How did he get 111 off that?
So it would have been 117 and 111. But because of the
knockdown, so it was 9-3. You're right.
It's 9-3. It's 9-3. So they had it 9-3, and the one judge had it 7-5. 9-3, I can live with, but
7-5 and
7-5 is ridiculous.
No way.
7-5 is ridiculous. So 9-3, 7-5. I don't know.
You know, Gausha, I tell you, he landed that shot in the first round. It would look like I think it was a right hand that caught him. And, you know, to me, I'll be honest with you, man, that looked a little bit more, that did not look like a flash knockdown to me. They kept saying it was a flash knockdown. He looked hurt. He looked like he was at least wobbled by that shot. Prior to that shot, he looked like he got wobbled again. Okay. So there was a time right maybe 30 seconds before that where he hit him and it looked like Tsyzu's feet went, you know, I mean, you could tell his feet.
He buckled towards the end of the round.
And
I thought,
yeah, when he got that knockdown or whatever, I thought, man, he is hurt. He was able to survive the rest of the round. Second round, he came back a little bit better. I guess you can make a case for Gausha getting that round. Every round after that, though, looked the same to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the first two. Yeah, maybe the first 2 rounds. But even the second round, I thought he still came back in that round. But maybe you could have given it to him. I don't know. But I don't know. I guess 9-3 is not bad. But 7-5 or something? 7-5 is crazy.
Oh, KRL Harrison stops Tim Tsyzu. How about Tony Harrison in Tim Tsyzu?
I think
that's a good fight, right?
I think I would favor Tsyzu. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good fight, man. That's a good fight.
Yeah.
I thought Tsyzu looked really good. There's a lot of, he's got some holes in his defense, but he fights that pressure style, throws a lot of punches. I thought he looked really good, man. I thought he looked really solid, man.
I will say this. Sometimes he squares up a little bit, but he's really good at picking shots off with his gloves.
Yeah, he really is.
You know what I mean?
But he does have some holes in that defense, though.
Yeah, I mean, he can sharpen up a little bit. But again, one thing I do like about him was he made the adjustments and he started catching the right hand. He started blocking it and started putting his hands up. And he was catching. He's blocking a shot. He was catching and shooting. He's a pretty good counterpuncher. He goes to the body. I think he's a pretty solid fighter. I mean, full disclosure, that was the first time I ever saw him fight live. I saw clips of him before, but this was the first time I ever seen him fight live from start to finish in a fight. And I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he's a solid puncher. I think he's got great punch variation. I like how he goes to the body. I don't like how he squares up. That's one of the negatives. When he gets in the pocket, he tends to square himself up. I think he needs to stop doing that. Maybe he can bend his knees a little bit, kind of make him, change levels a little bit when he's up close. But I just see minor things that need work. I mean, he puts his shots together well. He's got a good jab. His defense could get better, but it's not horrible, right. But I think, as he continues to fight, I think he can just tweak a few things. I think he's going to be a tough out for just about anyone in that division.
Yeah, that's not an easy fight for anybody. And I mean, he's capable of beating anybody in that division.
Yeah, he's a big, strong guy.
He's got power.
Decent hand speed.
He's got power.
decent hand speed. Right.
And if you fight him in Australia, I mean,
Yeah.
that thing just goes up.
So,
Do
you think he'll fight Harrison next? Because Harrison just had a tough fight a couple fights ago, I think, with Brian Perella. I thought Perella beat Harrison. I didn't think he looked great in that fight.
I don't know. I don't know if that fight happens or not, but I like that fight. I think that's a really good fight. That's a fight that I would pick for him next, because I think Harrison's a real tricky type of fighter.
Yeah.
But I think Harrison is on the dark side of his career too.
Sure.
So it's a good fight. I think he's going to go rounds with him. He's going to go that's a distance type of fight. Harrison's got really good defense, but Harrison's also, he can also hit, and he could take advantage of some of those flaws.
Well, here's the thing too, though. He's ranked number 1 by the WBO. So he could very well get the winner of Charlo versus Castano. Is he ready for that fight? Is he ready for that fight, in your opinion?
He thinks he's ready.
Yeah.
He actually called out Charlo. He called out Charlo and said he would replace Castano.
Yeah, that, yeah.
I mean, so he's ready to move up. Now, I would like to see him fight a guy like Harrison.
Okay.
A few more big name opponents, bigger name guys.
Yeah.
And guys like Harrison, because you're going to see all different styles, you know what I mean? And that's the guy, if you really want to test and see where you're at as a fighter, if you're an up-and-coming prospect, that's the guy I would choose.
Yeah.
And say, let's see
another crafty
how
guy.
this works. Real crafty.
Sure.
Real crafty guy. Terrell Gausha, man, he's a former Olympian, man. And the way, I just thought Tsyzu took him apart in this fight, man.
Yeah.
I really did.
And again, he had that to come back after that shaky start. That shows a lot of resolve.
Well, we talked about, I think we talked about it earlier today about the pre-fight jitters in the U.S. You know what I mean? If he's coming here, you're fighting in front of this crowd, and it's a real thing. But sometimes people are able to get past that. He got caught. You know what it reminded me of? A lot of remember, was it Carl Frampton when he came to the U.S. for the first time and he fought Cobrita Gonzalez, I guess it was.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yes.
got knocked. That was a good fight. Carl, ultimately won that fight, but it wasn't easy.
That's a very good comparison. Oh my God, it's like deja vu, basically. Yeah. Very similar circumstances. I agree.
M-Easy Box says Erickson Lubin is a good fight for Tsyzu. That's a good fight too. There's so many. That
could be the next 2 fights for him, right?
Stacked.
That could be the next 2 fights for him.
And ironically enough, I think he blows right past Lubin, because Lubin's a boxer. He punches. He likes to open up, and I think Tsyzu could take advantage of that. I think Tsyzu can get him out of there. But the Harrison fight is the one that really intrigues me more so than the other one. I like them both. Don't get me wrong,
and the thing is, both those guys, they're like I said, they're decent punchers, but they're not as big a punchers as Tsyzu. They're not even as big as punchers as Jermall Charlo. They're crafty guys, but they're guys that you have the strength and power edge over. So it'll just be a matter of being able to catch up with either guy, right?
Team Batman, that's a really good observation here. He said, Tim really does remind me of a mix between Kostya Tszyu, his dad, and a less polished Triple G. He does, because he puts that kind of pressure on him. And I think that, he does. He fights a lot like his dad.
Well, the thing about...
And he's got that power like his dad.
The thing that reminds me about his dad is his dad was really good at throwing short, straight, deliberate, accurate, pinpoint punches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this guy Tszyu, even when he throws hooks and stuff, everything is kind of tight. You know what I mean? He's not, doesn't loop things. He knows how to just thread the needle. The shortest distance between two points is a straight line. And he's mastered that. He's mastered that. And, you saw how when Gausha was covering up and he would just, find ways to open him up, touch him, move him, get him to move his hands around and create the openings for himself.
Gausha is another crafty fighter. I mean, this guy is no slouch. Again, former Olympian right here.
Yeah. I thought Gausha held his own in most of his fights, even in losing.
Yeah, I think so too. I was surprised the fight didn't get stopped at some point. I mean, he was taking a lot of punches, man.
There were times when he would be on the ropes and he'd just be getting pummeled and he wasn't really punching
Yeah.
back, but he was able to, keep going on, I guess.
Yeah, he was able to weather it, man. And hey, good
different
for him.
different referee may have stopped the fight. You never know.
That's very true. That's very true.
You never know.
All right, let's talk about the upcoming fights here. That was pretty much it for the week. This weekend anyway. Upcoming here, not much. I got to be honest with you. The big one is going to be the week after on April 9th weekend. You have that's the Triple G Murata fight. Ryan Garcia comes back for that one. And then you got Erickson Lubin fighting Fundora on Showtime. So April 9th is a big weekend. Next week, April 2nd, that's it. That's the only fight we have on the broadcast here. Let's see. Savannah Marshall from Newcastle, England. Savannah Marshall versus Femke Hermans. 10 rounds for Marshall's WBO women's middleweight title. Florian Marcoux versus who's putting this on? Who is that? Is that another like ESPN type of card? That
I'm not
the knife card.
Sure.
I don't know. That's terrible, son. That's awful. Little Penny says Lubin and Fundora is a sick fight. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good fight. Let's see here. What do you think of that Ryan Garcia fight? The Emmanuel Tago and Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like kind of the right fight at the right time for him. Tago is not really that.
Tago, it should be a showcase for him.
Yeah, it's a showcase for him. I don't think Tago has anything that can really trouble Garcia, to be honest with you.
But Garcia's had a lot of problems as of late.
Yeah.
A lot of, I guess dealing with depression, dealing with, a lot of stuff, man. And I tell you what, when you got the depression that weighs heavy, that's a heavy weight, and unless you ever had depression or like I said, I can't really fully understand it.
It's tough, man.
Tough. It's a tough thing, man. It really is.
But as I've said before, working out, doing things that you love to do, that's your therapy.
For some people, it just depends. It just depends, April 9th, also too, hey, speak of the devil, Tony Harrison fighting on April 9th, Sergio Garcia. So that should be a good one. That'll see what Harrison has. That's on the Lubin Fundora undercard here. April's a big month, just not next weekend, man. What's after that? Yeah, and after that, of course, after the April 9th, and you have the April 16th, Errol Spence, Jordanis Ugas. Let's see what else is after that. 19th.
So I guess that Murata Golovkin fight is going to be on like at 8 a.m. Because it's
really? Oh,
yeah, because it's in Japan.
Yeah, whatever.
Then the Garcia fight's going to be later in the evening at like 8. That card
8
starts.
a.m.
The other card starts 12 hours later. 8
yeah,
p.m.
but you know what? I bet that card starts at 8 a.m. Because aren't they 12 hours ahead?
Well, let's look at the DAZN schedule here. Oh my God, the card is going to start at 5 a.m. in the morning. On DAZN.
Oh, so they're actually fighting at 8 a.m. then.
Yeah, that's their time because they're 12 hours, I think, before us.
Yeah, I'm good.
So that's 5 a.m. And then the Garcia to go fight, that card starts at 9 p.m.
I'm such an idiot. Like, I won't stay up for that fight, which is a legitimate fight. And I stayed up for the Mayweather and what's that kid's name?
Tension.
Yeah, Nakatani.
We actually went live for that fight.
We went live. I'm such an idiot too, because like they said it was going to be at like 2 a.m. Like it was going to be 2 a.m. or something like that. I stayed up. I've got my alarm because I'm so tired. I've got my alarm set for like every 15 minutes so I don't miss anything. They didn't fight till like 5 a.m. I mean, the actual pay-per-view that they were on had to go like and just take a hiatus. He just like left the broadcast. You know what I mean? And when they finally came on at like 5 a.m, it was just like insane.
Yeah, you're out of control.
Team Batman says Triple G will destroy Murata. I don't know,
think
man.
so.
I don't know, man.
so.
That's not an easy fight. I'll tell you that. And especially, I'll be honest, man. Philly Drew's picking Murata. I think I'm going to pick Murata too.
I'm picking Murata.
That ain't no gimme, man. Especially the way Triple G has looked as of late. It's not like he's actually setting the world on fire anymore.
And I shouldn't say this, but I'm actually rooting for Murata to win.
Notorious VC say the words Mayweather or Paul Eric is in line. I know. I'm such a sucker. I won't watch Ebony Bridges fight, but I'll watch those two morons fight, You know
what? Ebony Bridges is like, she at the end of the fight, she goes, "Can I fucking fight? I told y'all I could fucking fight." Like, she's really being a goofball.
A moron. And she goes out with the thong at the weigh-in and all that other stuff. Like, come on, man. You want to know why people don't take you seriously? That's why. Katie Taylor, take her seriously. Amanda Serrano, take her seriously. That's why, because that's your gimmick. That's your gimmick, is looking hot. And when people point that out, you can't get mad. Because you come out there in a thong and sunglasses and give sunglasses to Eddie Hearn saying, "Hey, don't look at me."
Little Penny's from New Zealand. Let me ask you, Little Penny, because New Zealand and Australia are close together, right? You pretty much are in tune with the Aussie scene. What do the Australian people think of Ebony Bridges? Is she popular over there? Do they get behind her? I know that people in the UK love her. Like they've adopted her and they were cheering for her. They got behind her a lot. I just wonder, how she's looked at in Australia at home by the hometown people over there. Yeah,
I'd be interested to see. She's not popular. Yeah.
Okay. So she's not like the Zoo family over there. She's not looked at. Even Jeff Horn was popular over there.
Yeah, Ebony Bridges is more popular in England than Australia.
Wow.
Sure.
Very interesting.
Yeah. See her fighting in Melbourne,
That's right.
There you go. All right. Speaking of Melbourne, speaking of Australia, no, I'm not talking about Bridges, man. I'm talking about the real fighters here. Devin Haney and George Kambosos is set. He signed. Devin Haney finally signed at the 0 hour. The fight will be June 5th in Melbourne, Australia. This is from my man, Mike Coppinger. That's right, Beeb. He's right again. Hey, Beeb, your man's right again. Again, son. Hey, Beeb, he's right again.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you're taking a multiple choice test, right?
Yes.
And you're already told A, B, and C are wrong. Of course, you're going to answer D at the end, right? Because you already were told A, B, and C were wrong, right?
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, so this is from ESPN. As part of Haney's agreement with Lou DiBella, Kambosos' promoter, and Bob Arum Top Rank, which has an exclusive content agreement with ESPN, Haney has agreed to an immediate rematch clause that would obligate him to box Kambosos again in Australia if Haney wins their upcoming bout and remains a lightweight. If Haney were to defeat Kambosos in back-to-back bouts, the 23-year-old of Las Vegas resident would then face Vasily Lomachenko in what would be an ESPN pay-per-view event. So it sounds like a 2 or a 3 fight deal that he might have signed there.
I'm not saying the fight is not going to happen. Don't get me wrong. But I did hear an interview yesterday from Eddie Hearn, and he was asked about this fight. And he said that they did give us an offer and we have to look it over. So again, just like when Canelo,
What do you mean?
I don't know if the fight is actually set. I know that they have the offer. That's according to Eddie Hearn. That's all I know.
Who, Devin Haney? Yeah, Devin Haney's there. From what he said, let's say they've signed it.
Eddie Hearn said that they haven't in an interview that I saw yesterday on YouTube. So
this is as of today at 2 p.m. though. This is when the actual story came out.
All right. Okay.
So I don't know. So if it was yesterday, it was yesterday. But
I don't know who signs a contract on a Sunday, but I'm just saying I don't know.
Well, people like myself and Cop, we work on Sunday. I don't know about you. I don't know what you do.
I'm not saying that Cop is wrong. I'm just saying Eddie Hearn said something yesterday that was very contradictory.
Cop is wrong. That's like an oxymoron, dude. That didn't even make any sense. What's the matter with you?
Oh, why don't you and Cop get a room?
They're all sold out. All right, so they, so I guess it's a 3-fight deal. It sounds like a 3-fight deal to me, but
yeah, I don't know.
This
is Cop. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But I'm glad Haney signed this because there was talk that Haney this week was not going to sign it. What are you smiling at? What's the matter with you?
I don't know if he signed it yet. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, stop. Come on. Why would Coppinger report it? Come on. You're just hating on Cop for no reason now.
Well, didn't he report that the Lomachenko fight was done?
Yeah, before the war happened. A war broke out. What do you want him to do? That's like an act of God or something like that. I mean, you can't help that.
Again, if
he knew Putin was going to go in there.
Well, if Lomachenko signed a contract, how could he go to Ukraine?
What do you mean? How can he go to Ukraine? He lives it. Come on, man. Even if he did sign a contract, come on. Can't hold him liable for that. What's the matter with you? Not on. You don't think Devin Haney signed that contract? You calling Cop a liar, huh? That's what you're doing now, huh? That's how we're living?
I've heard people. I've heard Canelo Alvarez call Cop a liar when he told him that when he told Canelo Alvarez he was fighting Charlo.
King Chaos said we got to pump the brakes on the Coppinger reports.
Please. When you got fighters and managers and promoters telling you you're lying.
I'm going to bust you right now, all right? Egas Klimas. All right, okay, so another Cop thing here. All right, so Usyk has left the Ukraine to train for Joshua. You know who reported that? Cop. Coppinger reported that, right? Egas Klimas came out and says, leave my fighters alone. I don't want to, you just blah, blah, blah. 2 days after that, guess who's coming back to train? He's right more than he's wrong, man. He just is.
He's 50-50. And that's not good if you're doing this.
I think he's at least 60-40. I think he's at least 60-40.
Even that's not good.
Well, it's good if you're gambling. That's great if you're gambling. I mean, if you're gambling and you're 60-40, you're hitting it, man.
Eric.
Yes.
I'll give you this one. I can't. You're wearing me out now.
Hey.
You beat me into submission here with this Coppinger bullshit.
That's how I win arguments, baby. So Usyk has left Ukraine to train for Joshua. They gave him, I guess they gave him permission to leave or whatever, and that makes sense, man. I mean, it makes sense. I'd rather see Usyk. I'd rather see Usyk on this side versus in a war, man.
D-Style said something. He goes, you could do more in inspiring your country through your boxing.
Very much.
Do you agree with that? I do.
Absolutely. No, very well said. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're bringing more. You can bring more awareness to it. You can bring, what I mean. It's just better, Vasyl Lomachenko was going to fight Kambosos. Had the fight done. All right. Not according to Cop, according to some other schleps out there, had the fight done. However,
that was close. It was close.
He's staying in the Ukraine, Beeb. This guy would rather have bullets coming at his head than fist. Okay. He would rather have bullets coming at him. It's insane to me how brave this guy is.
Have you seen the pictures of that country right now?
It's like rubble.
It's.
Have you seen it? Yeah, like Mariupol and stuff like that. It's like completely rubble.
It's heartbreaking.
80%. They said 80% of Mariupol or whatever, or 85% is just done. Yeah, I don't know. Little Penny says Loma is nowhere near the trenches. Listen, I don't know that. How do you know that? He doesn't. It's not like they give his location. How do you know that? You don't know, man. Listen, you're in the army. You got a shot of getting shot. And you're in the middle of a war. Listen, you can get shelled at any minute.
I'm in no position to pinpoint Loma's whereabouts.
Right.
I suspect, in fairness to Little Penny, I do suspect he's not in the trenches, but I can't say that with 100% certainty. But I do believe he's probably not in the trenches.
I don't know where he is, but listen, man, I don't doubt that he's seeing some action over there. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, where are they going to keep him safe in that country? I mean, think about it. Like, he's nowhere near the trenches. Great. Where are you going to keep him safe?
I'm seeing Vitaly Klitschko walking around in Kiev, and I'm hearing fucking explosions going off in the background. So I don't know. I don't know where you can hide that country at this point.
You're right. I mean, there's nowhere, what do you hide behind some rubble? I mean, seriously, you're out there. I mean, if you're in the army and you're fighting over there, you're in harm's way. There is nowhere that, that they're going to put you that, you don't have. What do you think of that, though? What do you think of like Loma staying? I mean, that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have to.
Wow.
That shows some strong conviction there. I can't say
how many average people would do that? Think about that for a minute. How many average people would do that?
Listen,
when you can make millions here, or you could just stay here for free and get shot. You have a chance of getting shot. It's
when I signed up for the military, I signed up. I went in just after Desert Storm.
Yeah.
And I was crossing my fingers saying, please don't send me to Iraq. Please don't send me to Iraq. Please don't send me to Iraq. And they sent me to Germany.
That's cool. I heard Germany's a nice place.
It's nice, yeah.
I heard Germany's really nice, man.
Germany's fun. Nice women. Nice honey dips over there.
Did you pay for them?
Over there, you don't have to pay for anything. Come on, you got the uniform. All you need is the uniform. Beef was in his prime back then. Pay.
He was in his prime.
In his prime. 22-year-old, a 22-year-old B. Just picture it. Just picture that. They were paying me.
They were paying you. MEZ Box, thank you so much, man. He said, salute Ringside Reporter. Did you hear Tio's thoughts on Haney Kambosos? He said, I used to like that kid. Him and his pops are lost. I did not hear that.
You want to hear it?
Yes. Did you?
So what he was saying was, yeah, of course he's going to get the fight. That's why they did me dirty. They wanted him to get the fight. That was the setup. They set me up so he can get the fight with Kambosos. So he still thinks that he won that Kambosos fight.
They set who up?
Tio said they set him up because it was a DAZN thing, because it was all about getting Haney the shot, because Haney's the DAZN fighter and he's not. So this was he said basically they set him up. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
really, the typical crazy bullshit coming out. I mean,
that's
again,
like QAnon stuff, like, come on.
I don't want to not like people. I don't want to not like people, but he's just making it very hard for me to like him at this point.
Dude,
him and his dad.
I always say, like you learn more about somebody in a loss than you ever will with them winning.
Very well.
Your character comes out during the loss.
Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, and I'm sure his father was going ahead and agreeing with everything. And
I mean, his father is his worst enemy, really, if you think about it.
Really is. He really is. Tank's contract with Mayweather ending soon. Fight hype. Ben Thompson spoke to Mayweather following Davis's statement. Tank Davis apparently put out a statement saying as much, and then I guess he deleted it, saying this is going to be his last fight. That's why they want me to fight this clown Raleigh or whatever, because it'll be done soon. And Mayweather said, quote, nothing lasts forever. I will always love Tank. I like him, love him. I look at him like a son. He has to do what's best for him, said Mayweather. I feel like I've done a great job thus far building him and putting him in good fights, great fights. He's steady growing. He's steady learning. I'm proud of him. This has been a very up and down relationship here with Mayweather and Tank. I remember when he came to Cincinnati, I asked him about this, and he was really like, he always has like a rehearsed thing when it comes to these things, but there was definitely tension there. You could sense that there was definitely tension there between him and Tank. It's not good, man. They don't get along.
Well, I think because of Mayweather's personal beefs with other people, it keeps Tank from fighting guys that he should be fighting, and probably guys that he really wants to fight.
Yeah.
How long do you think Tank's going to be able to tolerate? Oh, well, you can't fight that guy because he's on the other side. Like, you don't think Tank wants to fight Lomachenko? You don't think Tank wants to fight Teofimo Lopez? You don't think Tank wants to fight Ryan Garcia? You don't think he wants to fight George Kambosos? But he can't because of his
nobody there.
Yeah,
right.
At
There's
some point,
there.
Tank's got to say to himself, you know, what's going on here? And I think we talked about this. We said that they're probably going to leave on bad terms because who name one fighter that ever did anything with Mayweather Promotions, really? You know, they
Tank's
got him
the biggest one. Tank is the biggest one.
And the thing is like I said, like Floyd's got beef. They don't like Eddie Hearn. They don't like Bob Arum, right? They don't like Oscar De La Hoya, right? How the fuck are you going to get any? You can't continue to only fight PBC fighters. There's like you said, there's no one over there. There's no one over there. So he's probably getting frustrated with this whole situation. Like why? Like and then he likes Canelo Alvarez, and he wanted to wear Canelo Alvarez's gloves, and then Canelo Alvarez congratulated Isaac Cruz or whatever. Just said, "I wish him luck." That's all he said. Oh, you can't wear his gloves, Tank. He's rooting for the other guy. Hey, all he said was, "I wish him luck." You know, like who wants to go through their career being told what they can do, what they can say, what gloves that would like they would he was wearing Canelo's gloves. Canelo gave him the pair of gloves. You know?
Well, I heard it all started. You know, it all started because he didn't want to leave Baltimore to train. He wanted to train in Baltimore. And Floyd says, no, you need to come down here and train. And if you don't do it Floyd's way, you're not doing it the right way. You know, and that's where it is. That's where he gets in trouble. Listen, you're the promoter. All you have to do is promote. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you were, I mean, let's be honest. If you were like, especially with De La Hoya or Floyd, I'd be furious. There's no way I would sign on with any of those two, man. Because if you had a choice, there's no way you would sign on with either one of those two. They're more interested in promoting themselves than they are their fighters. That's just it.
I don't think Tank's re-signing with them. I would not be surprised, in my own humble opinion, if Tank went over to DAZN. I really wouldn't. Think about it. Think about it if you go to DAZN. Look who you could fight. You can fight Kambosos. You could fight Devin Haney. You could fight all those guys over there, right? You could fight Ryan Garcia.
Right. And then
that's the only way the Ryan Garcia fight's going to happen.
The zone opens up the Golden Boy, and you don't have to work with I wouldn't sign with Golden Boy. I would sign with the zone, but you can even go a fight by fight basis. You know what I mean? So, but they've got nobody over there for him. They're going to keep feeding him stiffs. You know, Rolly Romero's not going to beat this guy. It's not even a good fight.
And he basically isn't even happy that he has to fight this guy. He thinks it's a joke that he's fighting this guy right now.
Right. Right. And Romero's okay, but he's not going to beat that guy.
He's not going to beat him.
Let's be honest, man.
He's not going to beat him.
No way.
Tank's going to destroy him.
Yeah.
It's not even going to be competitive.
Don King wins the purse bid for Trevor Bryan and Daniel Dubois. Don King back in the fold, baby.
Back in the business. I told you Don King is the man.
Don King, son. He bid $3 million for that fight. $3 million. So yeah, man. All right.
You know what? A little bit off topic, and tell me if tell me if you agree with me here. I heard Bill Maher. He was on Ben Shapiro's show, and he was talking about like COVID stuff, and he was talking about how people, you know, the biggest issue is people not taking care of themselves. That's why they had such a hard time with COVID, whatever. And then he says, name me two 90-year-old people name me two overweight people who are 90 years old. And Don King is overweight. Bob Arum's overweight. And they're both 90 years old.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree with that.
So those are the two people, right?
Yeah. What did Bill Maher say? He couldn't think about anybody?
Yeah, he was basically criticizing. I'm not saying he's wrong in his assessment. He's just saying, you know, the biggest issue with COVID is like people didn't take care of themselves. And he's like, well, we need to tell people to be healthier in life. He goes, name me two obese people that live to 90.
There you go.
Bob Arum, he's like 5'6", he's heavy, right?
And that's a short-sighted way to look at it too.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a really short-sighted way.
Kind of minimized,
Right, kind of minimized. Well, what about the marathon runner who died from it, or what about this guy who was in perfect health
and once again, this is a guy that abuses abused drugs in his life,
right?
That was a drinker. Same thing as Joe Rogan. And these guys are preaching health. I think I just don't want to hear it from you guys.
And you got healthy, great, that's wonderful. You got healthy, wonderful, but you don't have to you know what I'm saying? Like you down everybody else now.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows what they do in their personal lives? I'm sure they do stuff that isn't the greatest thing. Everybody has a vice.
Right.
Everyone. I mean, I bought a bag of sour cream and onion Lay's potato chips. Big fucking deal. I mean, what am I? You're gonna put me in fat? You're gonna put me on a fat farm now, Bill Maher? Am I evil now because I ate a bag of freaking sour cream and onion potato chips today?
The small bag or
no, medium-sized bag. 400 calories. Cut the shit. What do you think this is?
400 calories. That's not a medium-sized bag.
That's a medium-sized bag.
That's a small bag.
410 calories.
Calories? Yeah.
No, they have the small ones.
Are you talking about the big, like the family size?
No, the 410 calorie ones are like they're like this big. They have like
no,
they're like double servings.
Wrong.
They're double servings.
No, they're like that from like the kinds you get from the gas station.
I'll show you the bag. Hold on.
Show me the bag. All right, we're gonna go to Corey for right now. 804, you're live.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today, man?
What's the word, man? What's the word?
Oh my goodness, man. How y'all doing today, man? Y'all got me tripping over these chips, man.
He went to go wrangle the chips.
Y'all are so fucking funny, bro. I really just wish more people knew about y'all show, man. Damn.
Well, we wish it too, of course. That's a gas station. That's not a medium-sized bag. That's a gas station bag. Yeah, 410. Son, that's the kind you get from like the gas station. That's not like a big. That's the kind you do on road
400
trips.
Calories. That's the baby.
There it is, right there. 410
Son,
calories.
you get that at like UDF or something like that, or a Speedway.
That's where I got it. I got it.
I'm talking about the kind you get from Publix, all right? The big ones.
Hey, how y'all doing today? Y'all all right?
Corey, when was the last time you ate a bag of chips? Corey, when was the last time you ate a bag of chips? I know you're healthy.
Oh my God.
Corey doesn't eat a bag of chips, man. You see him in the weight room and everything like that. He ain't eating no bags of chips.
I eat the Chipotle chips.
Yeah, the chips from Chipotle, the tortilla chips?
It's starting to sound like Robbie now.
Yeah, the tortillas. That's the ones I get.
Yeah, those are good too.
Robbie still eats animal crackers, man. Mrs. Herrick gives him animal crackers.
Oh, shit. Oh man, y'all so funny. I'm at work tripping right now off y'all. Yeah, man. But yeah, I just wanted to call in real quick, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to Usyk, man, for defending his country and trying to get this Joshua fight going on. I heard he's going back to camp, and I think that's good for him. Good for him in his career. And Usyk is the number one heavyweight in the world. I've been saying this for 3 years now, and it's finally come true. Usyk, I feel like if he can use this motivation in the best way, or if it hurt him, man, this could really fuck up Usyk's mental, man. There's a lot of shit going on in the Ukraine that we don't know about on a serious note. And for him to be the heavyweight champion and to have all those belts, it's a lot on his shoulders, man. He's got a whole country on his shoulders now, y'all. That's different than just, a state or, something like that. They're going through war right now, and I just truly feel like Usyk, to be able to get it done, he's got to go to a place he's never went before, man. I really believe that, man.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's witnessed out there, and you don't know what he's been through out there. I mean, no other fighter can pretty much be in his shoes right now, unless their country is at war right now. I mean, Usyk has a lot going on his plate right now, and I just hopefully we can dial all that in and use it to the better of him, man. But the fights, man, the fights this weekend, there was some good fights this weekend, man. Man, there was some awesome fights this weekend. I just feel like all of those Ohio guys, man, they looking good. Tiger, all those. I was like, okay. And shout out to Keyshawn Davis. Shout out to Virginia. That's where I'm from. They Keyshawn Davis, the Davis brothers. They're really good. You got Jaleel Hackett. It's a bunch of kids out there. So from the 757 and the Alexandria area. But yeah, man, it was some good fights this weekend, man. And did y'all enjoy the fights this weekend or what?
I thought they were really good fights. They were great fights, man.
Yeah, man. B's over there with the fucking chips in his fucking mouth. Come on, man.
I already ate the chips, man.
I'm looking at B. He's just standing there. I'm like,
how many times we got to say that the fights were good, man? You said it 6 times. You said it 6 times. The fights were good this weekend. I already know that. I watched them all. What is this?
Oh my God!
Is this Groundhog Day? You're repeating yourself 16 times in a row here.
I'm gonna get back to work, y'all.
Yeah, you need to get back to work.
Man, awesome show,
do something productive.
Guys, man.
All right, Corey.
Something productive with yourself.
All right, 443. Is this Baltimore?
That's Baltimore, baby.
Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore. It's Troy. Troy from Baltimore. How
Oh,
you
Troy,
doing?
I'm so happy to hear from you, man. Listen,
man, that you don't have anything to worry about because that bag of chips was mostly air, right?
That's right. They say 60% air.
Chips in the bag.
Well, when
right?
I was eating it, they didn't feel like that I was eating a lot. Went down pretty easy.
No, because it's mainly air in there. You're just paying for air basically, and then you might get 30% chips. That's it.
That's true.
That's how it works. But anyway, I just said since the beginning that the Haney versus Kambosos fight makes the most sense. I don't know why it's taking so long to get done because if you look at it, it works out great for both sides. If Haney wins, he becomes the youngest, undisputed champion. If Kambosos wins, he becomes the first undisputed champion in Australia.
Wow.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be for money in this case. It should be a legacy, and then you get the money after you win the fight. I mean, come on, man. This is why I just turn off from boxing so much and stick to certain fighters that I appreciate. But the entirety of the sport, I just can't dig it no more. And then with T.O. coming out saying that he was set up. No, he wasn't set up. You were beat. I mean, you told the world you were poisoned. You said that something else happened to you. I mean, you called Deontay Wilder a female dog, and I agree with you. But here you turn right around and act like a female dog.
Whoa.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's terrible. Man. Yeah. I mean, because I don't know half these boxers' name no more because I simply just don't give a damn. I mean, seriously, if y'all can't make the fights, I'm talking about boxing, why should we as fans actually give a damn about the sport? I only care about certain fighters. I appreciate certain bits, and then I move the hell on. That's it. But y'all have a good night, man. I know I sound like a bitter dude today, but it's just the fact, man.
No, it's a fact.
It's just the fact. I'm sick of the same thing. Huh?
No, I said it's the facts. I agree with you. I said you right.
All right, Troy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my team.
All right, man. We appreciate it, man.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Guy.
Troy, very disgruntled tonight. Got good reason to be. But I don't know. I like the Tank. I like not the Tank, but the Devin Haney fight. I love the
Devin Haney fight.
I like Devin Haney versus Kambosos. I like Kambosos versus Lomachenko, Garcia. Any one of those fights, as long as somebody took that fight. Now, it was going to be one of those things where if Haney turned down that fight, I mean, what could you possibly say? It's like, then I don't want to hear from Devin Haney anymore.
I'm like him. I'm not here to worry about the fights that aren't happening. I'm looking at these fights that we do have, like the Fury Whyte fight. I love it. The Serrano.
You think that fight comes off?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You think that fight comes off? All right, because I'm listening to that interview you sent me today about that lawyer, Dillian White's lawyer.
Yeah.
Dillian White's side is apparently harassing Frank Warren and Tyson Fury's side and everything like that about this and that and about things that they didn't get that they were promised and blah blah blah. Dillian has not promoted the fight at all. I mean, not on social media, nowhere. What? I don't understand. Like, is this possible that he just bails on this fight?
No, I mean, the lawyer did say that the fight is definitely going to happen, but the whole thing of them just trying to negotiate after the contract's already being signed, I think they're just trying to torment Frank Warren. I think they're having fun with Frank Warren. I think they're just trying to. I think this is all mind games from their side. I think they're just trying to disrupt everything.
For what though? Because I mean, I don't think Tyson Fury is really caring about this
at
all.
I don't agree with what they're doing, but for some reason you're hearing Eddie Hearn saying, "Oh, well, they're terrorizing Team Fury," but are they really?
Yeah, did you see that? You're a moron.
I mean, I think this is all just for smoke and mirrors. This is all for show right now. I mean, does he really care about the tickets? And let me ask you this: How many times has Eddie Hearn put a fighter's purse in escrow when they were fighting AJ? It's not very common. I'm not saying it's never done, but how common is that?
I don't know why it's not more common.
Yeah, I mean,
it should be, right?
I'm not against it. I'm not against it, but when you think about it, it's just never really done that way.
Yeah.
It's like when you go for a job, you go like when any athlete signs a contract, they don't get the whole amount of the contract put in escrow. They get paid in increments, right?
Right.
No one. It's very rare that you put money gets put in escrow when you're dealing with someone who you don't trust and is not a reputable business. Then you have them put the money in escrow. When is Top Rank never paid a fighter? When has anyone ever sued Top Rank for non-payment? They've sued him for other things.
I think about that Mayweather Paul fight. How he didn't get. Mayweather's been accused of that on more than one occasion.
Sure, but that's Mayweather,
right? Right. Top Rank is a different animal,
And he's suing him for the pay-per-view money that he was supposed to be getting. And technically, I mean, they can slow pay that out if they want. If they want to be assholes about it. But,
Yeah. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at JHabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. You can contact me on Twitter at ringside73, and we will see you guys next week.